What if I told you that just months ago in 2025, Generation Z completely bypassed traditional politics and chose their own leader through Discord? This is the incredible story of how 18-year-olds with smartphones overthrew Nepal's political establishment and put a 73-year-old former Chief Justice in power. The politicians never saw it coming, and what happened next is still reshaping democracy today. It started with a TikTok video that went viral in March 2025. A college student named Priya Shrestha posted a 60-second rant about Nepal's corrupt politicians, ending with the words, "You know what? My grandmother would run this country better than these idiots." The video got 3 million views in 24 hours. But then, someone in the comments wrote, "Actually, what about Sushila Karki? She's like everyone's badass grandma, but with legal superpowers." Within hours, hashtag Sushila for president was trending across every social platform. Memes flooded Instagram, showing Sushila Karki as everything from a superhero to a wise grandmother figure. But this wasn't just online fun. Something real was building. The movement started in a Discord server called Nepal's Future with just 50 members. College student Arjun Thapa, frustrated with traditional politics, posted, "Guys, what if we're serious about this? What if we actually organize and show these old politicians that we can choose our own leaders?" What began as a joke in early 2025 was about to become the most serious political movement in Nepal's history. The server exploded to 15,000 members within a week. These weren't just random internet trolls. They were engineering students, medical students, young professionals, and even some high schoolers who were tired of watching their country be run by the same corrupt families for decades. Someone created channels for different regions of Nepal. Others started organizing meetups using the latest AI planning tools. The most active members began researching Sushila Karki's judicial record, her anti-corruption stance, and her history of standing up to powerful interests. But the real magic happened when they discovered that Sushila Karki had no idea any of this was happening. Meanwhile, in her modest home in Kathmandu, the 73-year-old former Chief Justice was living a quiet retirement, completely unaware that millions of young Nepalis were planning to make her their president. She had finally gotten a smartphone in 2024, but still struggled with Instagram. Before I tell you what happened when Sushila Karki finally joined Discord, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more incredible stories from 2025. And let me know in the comments which city you're watching from. I love connecting with viewers around the world. What happened when Sushila Karki finally joined Discord will blow your mind. When Sushila Karki's granddaughter finally convinced her to look at what was happening online in April 2025, the former Chief Justice was completely bewildered. "They want me to be what? Through what platform?" Her 26-year-old granddaughter, Shreya, spent 3 hours explaining Discord, the latest memes, and how viral movements now worked in 2025. Sushila's first reaction was typical of someone her age. "This is ridiculous. You can't run a country through a chat application." But then Shreya showed her some of the serious discussions happening in the Discord channels. Young people were analyzing government policies using AI tools, debating constitutional law with ChatGPT assistance, and creating detailed plans for economic reform with the help of the latest technology available in 2025. "Grandmother," Shreya said, "these kids know more about your judicial decisions than most lawyers do. They've used AI to analyze every case you've handled, every corruption network you've exposed. They don't want you because you're famous. They want you because you represent everything they believe in." The moment that changed everything came when Sushila Karki agreed to join a Discord voice chat with 800 young supporters in May 2025. The server admins had spent days preparing for this moment, using the latest streaming technology, but nothing could have prepared them for what actually happened.
When Sushila's voice came through their headphones, this legendary figure they had only seen in news photos, the chat exploded with excitement. But then she started speaking, and something beautiful happened. The chaos settled into respectful silence as she addressed their concerns with the same wisdom and clarity that had made her famous in courtrooms. "Young people of Nepal," she began, her voice carrying the authority of decades in law, "I am honored that you see me as someone worthy of your trust. But let me ask you something. Are you prepared for the responsibility that comes with the power you're wielding?" For the next 2 hours, she answered their questions about corruption, judicial reform, women's rights, and economic policy. But more importantly, she asked them questions that made them think deeper about what kind of country they wanted to build in 2025 and beyond. By the end of that voice chat, the Discord movement had transformed from a viral trend into something resembling a real political campaign. The difference was, this campaign was being run entirely by people under 25, using platforms and AI tools their parents barely understood. Traditional politicians started to panic when they realized what was happening in mid-2025. The major political parties tried to dismiss it as internet nonsense, but private polls showed that Sushila Karki had higher approval ratings among young people than any active politician. The government's response was predictably clumsy. They tried to regulate social media more heavily, threatened to ban Discord, and even suggested that young people were being manipulated by AI and foreign influences. This only made the movement stronger. The breaking point came when the Prime Minister gave a press conference in June 2025, calling the Discord movement a threat to Nepal's democratic traditions. Within hours, a video response appeared online showing dozens of young people explaining exactly why traditional politics had failed them. But what nobody expected was what Sushila Karki did next, something that shocked both her young supporters and the political establishment.
3 weeks after her first Discord appearance in June 2025, Sushila Karki did something that no Nepalese politician had ever done before. She announced that she would accept the nomination from Generation Z, but only under specific conditions that would revolutionize how politics worked in Nepal. Standing in front of cameras at a press conference organized entirely by college students using 2025's latest event management apps, the 73-year-old former Chief Justice made a declaration that sent shockwaves through the country's political system. "If the young people of Nepal truly want me to serve as their leader," she said, "then we will do politics differently. No political parties, no traditional campaign funding, no backroom deals. Everything will be transparent, everything will be digital, and every major decision will involve direct consultation with the people who will be most affected by it." The political establishment was horrified. How could someone run for president without party support, without traditional fundraising, without the machinery that had controlled Nepalese politics for decades? But Generation Z was ecstatic. Within 24 hours, they had created the most sophisticated grassroots campaign in South Asian history, all coordinated through Discord servers, advanced WhatsApp group management, and social media platforms enhanced by 2025's AI tools. Regional coordinators emerged organically, young people who stepped up to organize their communities without being asked. Medical students created healthcare policy working groups using AI research assistants. Engineering students designed infrastructure plans with the latest modeling software. Business students developed economic policies using 2025's advanced data analytics. It was democracy in action, powered by technology that made participation accessible to everyone. The traditional media couldn't understand what was happening. Their reporters tried to find the real campaign headquarters, the actual campaign manager, the hidden political masterminds who must be pulling the strings. They couldn't comprehend that the campaign headquarters was everywhere and nowhere, existing entirely in the digital space where young people lived their lives. Meanwhile, established politicians watched in horror as their carefully planned campaigns were being outpaced by 19-year-olds with TikTok accounts, Discord bots, and AI-generated campaign strategies.
The moment everyone realized this was serious came when Sushila Karki's digital campaign raised more money in small donations than any traditional political campaign in Nepal's history. Every donation was tracked transparently using 2025's blockchain technology, every expense was voted on by Discord server moderators, and every financial decision was live-streamed for accountability. But the real test came when Nepal's election commission tried to disqualify her candidacy on technical grounds, claiming that campaigns run through social media didn't meet traditional requirements. If you're enjoying this incredible story from 2025, don't forget to subscribe and let me know in the comments which city you're watching from. I love hearing where my viewers are located around the world. Generation Z's response was swift and overwhelming, and it would change Nepal forever.
Generation Z's response to the Election Commission's attempt to disqualify Sushila Karki was swift and overwhelming. They organized the largest peaceful protest in Nepal's recent history, not through traditional political parties or labor unions, but through Discord servers, Instagram stories, and coordinated TikTok campaigns that went viral globally. The protest wasn't just in Nepal. Young Nepalis studying abroad organized solidarity demonstrations in major cities worldwide. The hashtag Digital Democracy Nepal became a global trending topic, with international media covering what they called the first AI-assisted grassroots political revolution. Election Day in Nepal, August 2025, looked unlike any election in the country's history. Traditional polling stations were supplemented by secure digital voting platforms that Generation Z had insisted on implementing, with the help of blockchain experts and cybersecurity professionals. Young people who had organized the entire campaign through Discord were now serving as election monitors, live streaming the voting process for transparency. The established political parties had mobilized their traditional bases, older voters, rural communities, and people who got their news from television and newspapers. They were confident that internet activism couldn't translate into real votes. They were catastrophically wrong. As results started coming in that evening, something unprecedented was happening. Sushila Karki wasn't just winning the youth vote, she was winning across all demographics. Her message of transparency, accountability, and genuine change had resonated far beyond Generation Z. Rural farmers who had seen her corruption cases on the news voted for her. Urban professionals tired of dynastic politics supported her. Even some older voters, impressed by the innovative and transparent campaign run by young people, chose change over tradition. By 8 p.m. on August 15, 2025, it was clear that the impossible had happened. Sushila Karki, a 73-year-old former judge who barely knew how to use Instagram at the beginning of the year, had been elected president of Nepal in a campaign run entirely by people under 25, using Discord and the latest social media tools. Her victory speech was delivered simultaneously, in person, and in the same Discord server where the movement had begun 6 months earlier. Today, you have proven that democracy belongs to everyone, not just professional politicians. You have shown that technology can serve humanity, not replace it. And you have demonstrated that when young people are given real power, they use it wisely. The international media couldn't believe what had happened in 2025. Political scientists called it the Discord revolution, the first time in modern history that a national election had been won through grassroots digital organizing without traditional political party support. But the real impact went far beyond Nepal. Within months, young people in other countries were studying the Nepal model, creating their own Discord servers, and organizing their own campaigns for change. Traditional political parties worldwide suddenly found themselves facing a generation that had learned they didn't need permission to participate in democracy. As I'm recording this video just months after these events, Sushila Karki's presidency continues to be marked by innovation. Policy discussions happen in public Discord channels. Citizens can directly propose legislation through online platforms. Cabinet meetings are live-streamed. The transparency that Generation Z demanded during the campaign has become the foundation of how the government operates.
If you enjoyed this incredible story from 2025 about the power of digital democracy, make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments which city you're watching from. I love connecting with viewers from around the world. The girl who started it all with a TikTok rant about her grandmother, she's now Nepal's youngest cabinet minister. At just 20 years old, still organizing policy discussions through Discord, proving that the revolution she started in March 2025 was just the beginning. This is still happening right now, and it's changing everything we thought we knew about politics and democracy.